Hi, my name is Ika from Awash Ethiopian Restaurant. I'll be there on May 19 for AfriKin Festival.
Green, gold, red. You've seen a lot of African countries' flags. That's the reason, because idling or proud of Ethiopians. Green is a prosperity. Yellow is peace. All right. Red is blood, resistance. There is certain things what we have to defend our lands. This is our color. It's a lot of places to visit, but it depends how many times you have. But the most important thing is where the civilization starts, how really the beginning of human beings, where it started, how it started, and what does that culture carry, to where influence, and then have the education of the history and the culture, and then finally to go to Shashamani. Yes, and because one of the reasons the war started was the Italians want everything to go through them to control Ethiopia. They call it Ojale Agreement. So just to work together. But in English version of it and the Italian version of it, they say that anything Ethiopia does has to go through Italians. So after the agreement, after 9 months, they found out that thing and say, no, we're not going to do this. So they came in 1896. War was one of the biggest. The Ethiopian lost, I believe, about 17,000, and the Italian lost about 6,000 military. But it was so embarrassing for Italians, and the general, he couldn't go back. He killed himself, and then the rest of them surrounded. And then what is the greatest thing Ethiopia did was peacefully they put them to the border, saying that with the agreement of Thailand never to come back. Yeah, and peacefully we handed them back. The capital city of Africa, when you said Ethiopia, it came a long way because it was a fight, this thing to happen, even to happen, African Union. Those who sacrificed was one of them was Haile Selassie, Jomo Kenyatta. And then even the Western wanted to divide us by causing the problem in Nigeria at that time, and the Nigerians to revolt against and some other African countries to destabilize and then also not to happen the unity of Africa. The African Americans here in the United States are a victim of a lot of things, not to have that connection. A dysfunctional society, I could say, because they made them to be dysfunctional.
Yeah, the breakdown.
Yeah, breakdown, and it's very hard to go back to a place where you don't know where it came from, right. And then, all that things been taken from you. And I've seen it. I was in Senegal, and I've seen it how the slavery starts from the family separation from that island, Gore, right. And then they take you around, and then that's already taken who you are. And they're coming to the new land, okay? Not even knowing your name.
Right.
Yeah. And coming to this new world and you're creating yourself again. So you don't have anything. You have a culture. People of color, it doesn't have a sense of for me either. Yeah. You are human. Coloring things cannot affect you because that's beyond the question. Right. I mean, when you bring that, there is an issue to you in yourself. Right. What do you mean color? If you are African American, you have to act African American. You take it for granted. African is big than what you name yourself here. Right. I'm an African American. Right. My kids are African American because they behave African.
Right. They understand their roots.
Their roots and culture. Yeah, respecting family value. It's a war right now. It's a war. It's not about land. It's about culture. It's a war about identity. So that's been going on spread through different kind of network. Yeah. So that's what we need to strengthen our pride. I can't tell you about other African, but I could tell you about Ethiopian. Even the dress coding is now coming back to to come back, and then is coming back to fight it.
Right.
There are fights, because this is a war again.
Right.
We have resistance it, through a culture, manipulating it. The way you dress is supposed to be dressed up, and the way you act, the way you carry yourself through different culture which manipulate your culture and to dominate your culture. So we have to be very concerned about this.
What's the demographic?
Of the white people,
A lot of Caucasian people, they come for the culture of the food.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
because they are aware of the situation.
They're aware of it. They're aware of the health benefits, and they're aware of the culture and all that.
When I feel sad when people say I'm not from Africa,
Right.
and the other people want to know and then want to search for it. These people who are saying that they're not from Africa, other people laugh at them.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, you didn't come from the other space, all right? If your history, you know your history, then you wouldn't say this.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's really ignorance.
It's So let's talk about the jazz. Let's talk about the blues, how it created. So that means you're not blues, you're not jazz.
Right.
In educational, in a school, for the youth, to show them, the positive side of being, African.
Right.
If you don't have, the system itself is not allowing you to do it, then you have to be more stronger in your neighborhood, in your village, in the, anywhere, like to have that presentation and teaching, which is sad now, like for African Americans or for black, here, what you see, they have no any idea of, in fact, there is different African countries.
Right.
They don't even know the different geographies. That's why I put a map of Africa,
Right.
just to see them and say, Ethiopia is there and something. If you don't do that and a little bit contribute yourself, you're gonna live. We're living out of this country, this universe.
Dimension.
Yeah, but our kids, to take the responsibility, we have to teach them.
Absolutely.
The things you have to fix and repair, which is from our own people first, among us, before we talk the outsider coming pressing us.
Fix the house.
Yeah, we have to fix the house. And then second is the youth. We have to. I'm optimistic too. Say it's gonna come, realization.
Right.
The village has to go back to the original sense of it, and sitting and discussing. Then people who are elected, those from the village, they go to the city and disappear. That's what happened. Instead of coming back to the village, which is to their own society. When you have that sense of the village things, you could communicate, you could work, also you could lead better, or you could sacrifice yourself. And then you could be a better surgeon by allowing others to do who are qualified. But now it's not like that. It's a selfish world becoming. If we feed each other in Ethiopia, as a sister we feed each other, as a mother we feed each other, as a child we feed, and that really is a caring.
Right.
I live for you.
Right. It's a sense of love.
A sense of love, yeah. That's environment brought us to this sense of it. And this environment stayed for a long time. It worked in a family value. So it always brings us together. Everybody's on one plate. And that plate might be a lot of food, it might be small food, but we're still satisfied sharing it. That's the biggest thing we have.
It's the love. That's the love.
When we leave that place, when we finish that plate, we're all happy. The pride, the sense of pride has to come again. When you consider yourself, you are a part of other human beings. And then we all have to live together. We all have to work together. We have to love each other. You start that pride. Now you've seen in this country what happened, how the family value is not there. Your parent gets old, you put them in a retirement home,
Right.
nursing home.
Nursing homes.
Yeah. And the kids have no respect for the others, or even for their parents. you seen the shooting. All that starts from this sense of being a human and sharing. So this is a symbol of being responsible and also being strong to hold
Carry the weight of the
family.
Accountability.
Yeah.
Right.
So this is a village now.
What is the most popular dish in Ethiopia?
The dorot,
Dorwa.
the chicken.
Oh, that's a chicken.
Yeah.
Oh,
First, I'm going to talk about the bread, which is the spongy, the soft injera. We don't eat it with the rice, we eat it with anything, we eat it with that bread. It's made out of a grain called teff, and that teff grain is smaller than the sand. It ferments by itself. The healthy aspect of it is a lot of things in it, which is on our diets. It has high carbohydrates and then also high on iron, high on calcium. It's digested slowly, so you don't crave a lot, you don't eat a lot. It burns slowly. Your sugar level always balanced because of the metabolism, how you digest with your system. And this has been over 3,000 years. Yeah, in the whole food you could find it. Yeah. You could make out of juice on it. You could do bread in it. So that's it. The cuisine itself is like with a lot of vegetable, which is good for your body. The spice we use, all very healthy for you. And then it's a lot of things marinated with that kind of things, with the garlic, with the paprika and everything. So we want everybody to come and try it, and then you could feel in your body.
tell us what you have in store for us for May 19th for AfriKin. What are you going to be bringing for the people?
Oh, we're going to have a veggie platters like cabbage, collard green, beans, beets. We have chickpea powder, split peas, all that eaten with by injera, especially for veggie people who have different veggies. And we might going to bring a pumpkin on that one, yeah. Our website is awashmiami.com, and our location is 19934 Northwest 2nd Avenue, Miami Garden, Florida 33169. Our phone number is 305-770-4140. We are located on the corner of 199 and 441. My name is Fuad Wasa. I'm the owner of Awash Ethiopian Restaurant. I look forward to see you on the May 19 at the African Festival.